Hello and welcome. Today, we are breaking down a really powerful coaching method, one that can totally transform any session. And get this, it does it all in the first 10 minutes. Okay, here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about the kickoff problem. Then, we'll map out the session. After that, we'll dive into the three big shifts: the value shift, the evidence shift, and the future shift. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the power of three. Sound good? All right, first things first, we're going to tackle a situation that I'm sure every coach, manager, or leader out there has run into right at the start of an important conversation. So picture this, right? Your client pops up on the screen fresh from some super stressful meeting. They're frazzled, their mind is a million miles away. Now what? How on earth do you get them focused and ready for a really productive conversation?
Well, there's actually a name for this. It's called brain lag. You know that feeling, right? When you're physically in one place, but your brain is still stuck in the last meeting you were in. It's a huge hurdle for a great coaching session, and we've got to find a way to get past it.
And here's the thing. We often start with, "So, how are you?" But that's like a coin toss, a 50-50 shot. You might get a good answer, or you could accidentally open the floodgates to a whole downward spiral of negativity. It can completely derail a session before you've even started. Clearly, we need a better way to kick things off.
Okay, so how do we fix this? We need a map, a framework for the session, and that's where something called the core framework comes in. Think of it as our guide for the whole conversation.
So CORE is an acronym. It stands for Connect, Outcome, Resources, and Exit. It's a really simple flow, right? First you connect, then you figure out the outcome for the session, you explore the resources they have, and then you wrap it up with a clean exit. But here's where the real magic happens. Within that simple framework, we're going to make three really intentional gear shifts. These are designed to pull your client out of that brain lag and get them into a much more resourceful, positive state of mind. And the best part? It all happens in just the first few minutes. All right, let's talk about shift number one. This is the value shift, and it happens right at the beginning in that connect phase. This is all about laying a positive foundation for everything else. So remember that risky "how are you" question? We're going to ditch it. Instead, we open with what's called an appreciative inquiry question. Something like, "What's the best thing you made happen this week?" See the difference? It immediately puts them in a proactive, successful mindset. And the process here is so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. You ask that positive question to find a win. Then you lock in the emotion by asking, "And how did that make you feel?" And the final step is to have them anchor it physically. Bring that feeling into your body. It pulls them out of their head and into a much more positive, resourceful state. Okay, so once we're moving on to define the outcome for the session, it's time for our second gear shift. This one's called the evidence shift. This usually happens when you're setting the agenda. You could ask something like, on a scale from 1 to 10, how confident are you feeling about that big presentation? Maybe they say, "Ugh, I'm at a 4." And you ask where they'd like to be. "I'd love to get to an 8. Now, the goal itself isn't the most important part here. It's the follow-up question. You ask, so what does an 8 out of 10 confidence actually feel like? To answer that, they have to go there in their mind. They have to imagine it to feel it. And this question is pivotal. How would you know you were an 8? The moment you ask that, something amazing happens. You can literally see them change. Their posture shifts, they sit up straighter, their shoulders go back, their voice changes, they start embodying that 8 state. And often, just answering that question bumps them up the scale a point or two. And that brings us to our third and final gear shift. This one is really cool. It takes them completely out of the present moment and drops them right into a future where they've already succeeded. It's a technique called picture-in-picture. It's simple. First, you have them imagine their future success like it's a movie playing on a screen. See yourself a month from now totally nailing that presentation. Then, you tell them to imagine jumping right into that screen. This is a total game changer. The entire conversation flips. You're not coaching them towards a goal anymore. You're coaching them from a place where success has already happened. From that perspective, they are completely resourceful. Because in that mental space, the problem's already solved. So let's put this all together and look at the transformation that happens here. It's a really quick but incredibly intentional journey.
Think about it. In under 10 minutes, you've taken someone who was stressed, distracted, stuck in the past, and you've guided them to a place where they're focused, resourceful, and living in their future success. Now, they are totally ready for the real work of the session.
And these 3 shifts aren't just random tricks. They build on each other, step by step. The value shift anchors a positive feeling from the past. The evidence shift lets them experience that desired state right here in the present. And the future shift, well, that has them operating from a place where success is already a done deal. Past, present, future. It's a complete package.
And look, this isn't just for super formal coaching sessions. You can use this anywhere. Think about your next one-on-one, your next team meeting, even just a quick chat with someone you're mentoring. So the question to leave you with is, which of these shifts will you try out first in your next important conversation?